So when you're doing a stacked wrap, the basic term is exactly what it is. It is a stacked wrap. This is ideally done with cotton cut, but if you just need to cover something, like say your horse hit its hock really bad or has a really bad bed sore, you know, when they get those little hock sores from laying down on hard surfaces. I've had a few of those this year that because of the flies being so bad that they've just blown up and they've become these huge, massive hock sores. And really, we just need to keep the hock covered. But it just, if you try and wrap the hock, it's like wrapping an ice cream cone. It just falls to the bottom. And, you know, you still have your big, nasty red hock sore, and now you have, like, flash dance leg wraps on the bottom. So it's not very effective. So you're going to put your basic wrap on. In the case of doing a stacked wrap, and just because I'm over so far, I don't want to undo it completely. It can be done like this. You can put your first wrap on and do it exactly like this, or you can kind of incorporate before you start your standing wrap over your pillow. You can stack your next pillow. So we're going to stack our pillow just directly on top of that one. This is going to get really tricky because not only is he an amputee, so you can see how, I guess this is kind of good because it shows you really how the bandage wants to curve like that. But in a real horse, the hock is going to come up here. So you're going to have this angle. Can you all see that? So you're going to take your wrap, concentrate on the bottom part. Don't worry too much about what your top part is doing. It's going to gap. There's no two ways about it. It's going to gap, and it's going to sort of go off on a little bit of a tangent. But the whole idea is to keep it as smooth as possible. Now again, that's kind of tweak that just slightly so that I don't end up with the seam right over the point of my hock. Then you're going to take your second standing wrap. Kind of cut that in just like we did before. You're going to start the compression part. And in this case, I go down and I actually go down and start to incorporate my bottom wrap. And then I start to come back up. So you can see now we're starting to get a nice smooth column here. So it's not just going to wrap from here up. You're going to make this into one whole bandit. So you're going to come back up just like you did before. When you get to the point of the hock, you're going to have to start doing a figure 8 because you don't want to wrap. Thank you. So ideally you'd have a couple more wraps that would go up above here, and ideally this would not end right over your joint surface. So those would be two things that you'd really want to watch out for. You'd want this Velcro point to end either up here on a smooth surface or down here on a smooth surface. You try never ever to have your finishings end over an articulation surface. But when you get back here, you're going to have this little white gap here, and that's normal. You cannot wrap that straight across. If you continue to wrap something, you might be able to do it once or twice. That's rubbish. You might be able to do it once or so, but if you had to wrap that leg for any extensive period of time, so say they had a significant hock injury and you had to keep wrapping it, you're going to end up with pressure sores over there. So in a hospital situation, if we were using cotton, we would actually cut off a hole that would be like a little window right there where that joint could articulate and stretch. The same thing would happen over the forelimb. Not being a real horse, it's not easy to identify, but this is the accessory carpal bone, that part on the back side of a horse's knee. It's sort of hard and sharp. a stack wrap tight over the accessory carpal bone, you will kill off that skin over it, and you'll end up with a sore at the back of their knee. But then you'll have to wrap for that, and that's not easy to do, because now you're wrapping an area that probably shouldn't be wrapped. So that's a whole other ball of wax. Anyway,